Hello, good evening, everyone. Once again, good evening, everybody. My name is Tanveer Ahmed, and I'm a trainer, soft skill and communication trainer. I'm into this field from last 13 years, and I would like to thank Learning Equinox to give me this opportunity to share my views on today's topic. Hello, can you hear? Can you hear and see me clearly now? Fantastic. So as I told you before, I'm Tanveer Ahmed from Mumbai, and I'm a soft skill trainer. And our today's topic is negotiation skills. So before I go ahead, I just want to know that how many of you understand what is negotiation? Do you have any idea? I want your respond. Kindly respond me in the chat box if you can understand and listen to me clearly. So today's topic is negotiation. What is negotiation? Negotiation takes place between two people, two parties, to come on the same platform and to agree with each other's point of view. All right. Now, negotiation happens in everyday's life, in your personal life, in your professional life. Negotiation is a part of life. Whatever we do when we start our day, we go out, we step out, we talk to different people. We have a different point of view, and the person with whom we talk to, they have a different point of view, and we have to agree on the same point so both of us can close the deal or close the business. Are you getting my point? Kindly respond in the chat box. And in this negotiation process, the communication plays an important role that we will see in coming slides or means in coming time. Now, when we say negotiation, it is also referred as bargain, haggle, mediate, barter, and so on. These are just the terms, but at the end of the day, we look for negotiations, right? Now, uh, there are certain places where we don't negotiate. There are certain rules for the negotiation. The negotiation doesn't happen everywhere. I want to ask you a question. Please respond in the check box. In the chat box, I'm sorry. That when you visit a mall and when you do shopping from there, do you negotiate if you see a price tag of 1500 rupees for a cab? Do you negotiate that, come on, give it to me for 800 rupees or 700 rupees? Do you do that? Kindly respond. Do you negotiate in malls? Okay, actually I don't see any response in the chat box, that's why I was waiting. Yes. Yes, Madhvi, as you said, negotiation means trying to convince another about your point. Great. All right. Both side audible and visible. Fantastic. Now, when I say negotiation and communication, as I told you before, it has to be assertive. Now, there are three ways of communication, right? Hello, right? Aggressive, assertive, and submissive. So, during your entire process of communication, if you change the way of communication from assertive to aggressive, then the entire negotiation goes for a toss. Because even a request sounds as an order, as a command. During a negotiation, you have to take care of your communication. That we will speak in detail. Now, what makes a good negotiator? You should have a good observation skills, planning and organization. Sorry, organizing your stuff. You should know what exactly you're talking about. Okay, I missed one response from your end that I have asked you. When you go to a mall and try to purchase something from there, do you negotiate in case if the price tag is for 1500 rupees? Do you say I want this cap for 800 rupees or 500 rupees? Can you do give me, forget about discount is altogether a different thing. Do you say to the salesman that I want this for 800 rupees? Kindly respond. Kindly respond. Do you negotiate in the malls? No, actually, you don't negotiate in the mall because negotiation has to be taken place at right time with right person, right? So when you negotiate, you should know that to whom you are talking to whom you are negotiating. Is that person has the power to decide, to take a final call on this conversation. Do you agree? Do you agree? Please tell me. Okay. So when you say when you want to negotiate with someone, you should have good observation skills, planning, right? Flexible attitude and creativity. You should know that what exactly you're looking from this conversation, from this negotiation. Yes, Madhavi, we don't negotiate in malls, right? But we negotiate at the roadside shops because we know if we negotiate there in malls, nobody will listen to us. It will be useless. But when we negotiate at the roadside malls, roadside shops, and when we go to another shop, we negotiate there. When we purchase a railway ticket or an air ticket, we don't negotiate because that's a fixed price. We know this is not the right place to negotiate. So whenever you negotiate in your personal or professional life, you should know that is it the right place to negotiate. When you visit a mall, what happens? You talk with the salesperson, right? And that person doesn't have any rights to take a final call on the price. Agree? So at the same time, in our business communication, when you speak to the right person who has the knowledge, the authority, the power, the attitude to close the deal, then only you negotiate with that person. Now, there is something called rapport building. Rapport building comes in the communication part. Can you communicate and build a rapport with an unknown person? Of course, you can build a rapport with an unknown person with the help of the communication. Once you start your communication, then only you come on that stage where you can negotiate. And if you, speak in the layman's term, what is negotiation? You do this for me, then I will do this for you, right? It's a give and take situation for both of the parties, right? Normally when we go to market and somebody tells us a price that this will cost you 100 rupees, and we say no, this is not, I will not pay you 100 rupees, I will pay you 50 rupees. Then the person gives you another offer. Okay, fine, not 50, I can give you last for 70 rupees. Then again we give an offer. Okay, no 70 rupees, 60 rupees. And finally, both of you agree on that 60 rupees price and you close the deal. And when you close the deal, both of you are happy. Do you agree with my point? Kindly respond. Kindly respond. Do you agree? Okay. So, whenever you negotiate in your life on any topic, the first thing you have to be prepared that what exactly you are going to talk, what exactly you are going to offer to the client or to the person to whom you are going to talk or to whom you are going to negotiate, right? What is your objectives? I'm sorry, what is your objective behind this negotiation? Why you want to do this negotiation? As I have told you before, that there are certain things where we cannot negotiate at all. We have to agree on the same terms and condition which is given by the party, right? Now, strategy. You should know the strategy from where you have to start, when you have to start, and when you have to finish this negotiation. Now, completing the negotiation is very easy actually, right? You tell me something, I tell you something, both of us, we don't agree on the point, and we part away. Negotiation closes. But actually, the deal is not final. None of us, we are happy about this conversation, this negotiation, because the end result was zero. So, if you want to make this end result happy for both of us, win win situation for both of us, then we should negotiate with the knowledge, with the power, with the attitudes So we can close this conversation on a positive note, and both of us should be happy by end of the day, end of the conversation, you can say, right? Are you getting my point? Now, at the same time, the negotiation technique comes into the picture. In technique, the most and the utmost important thing is your communication style. How do you come across and make your point very clear, right? Now, there are three P's in the process of communication: position, perspective, and problem. What is your position during this entire communication? What is your perspective in this negotiation? And what is the problem, that why don't you agree on the same terms and condition given by the client? Normally, when we go for interview, right, we talk about salary. We demand a different amount, the company is not ready to give that amount, and they offer a different amount, and then a negotiation process starts. Now let's see, if I am demanding an amount of X and the company is not paying me X. The company said, see, my limit is to pay you Y. Now why should I pay you X? That time I have the power to justify my amount X. Then I will tell them what are my achievements in past, what I have done, in future, what I will do for their company. Fine. So when they will come to know about my past, as well as when they will come to know how I'm going to perform in future for their benefits, for their growth, then only they will offer me the X amount. So during salaries, during putting up your point, always speak about the positive points that should be beneficial for both the parties. Let's say if I say, fine, I'm the best guy in this world, I can give you the best services. If you hire me, your company will become the top 10 cat A company in the world, right? This is my opinion. But am I, do my opinion is really matter for the company? Do they think that my skills, my knowledge is going to be beneficial for them? So they will come up with a different solution for me. Fine. Then right now we cannot give you this. It's better you join any other company. The time when we will think that we are able to pay the amount you are asking for, then we will definitely contact you. So this negotiation again will go for a toss, right? There are three phases. Phase one, exchanging the information. Phase two, bargaining, and phase three, closing. When you exchange information, you actually talk about the situation, the current scenario, that what exactly is going on and how your role will be beneficial for the entire scenario. Once you convince the party, the another party with whom you're talking to, right, then they will start talking on this, where your communication comes into the picture. I have seen lots of time in my life a very good negotiation has gone for a toss just because of the miscommunication from both the end. As I had told you before, sometime a request sounds as an order, as a command. And during a negotiation, if it is in command, an order, the negotiation ends there. So it should be a win-win situation for both of us. At the same time, if you go submissive, if you don't have any confidence in your point of view, in your communication, in your knowledge, in your subject, the party will not believe you. How can they believe you? Because whatever you're saying, it is not justifying by your body language, by your communication, by your words, by your knowledge. How they will believe you that whatever you're saying, they should accept it. So remember, when you speak about communication, it is not only the verbal communication, but non-verbal too. Your body language, your gesture, your posture, the words which you use in your communication, your eye contact. When you sit with someone on the table, the way of sitting, your posture, and the eye contact. How comfortable you are with your clients to make an eye contact and put your point clearly with confidence. During my communication, normally I say that sometimes when you say good morning, even the good morning sounds like go to hell because the way it is spoken as. So when you speak, make sure the words we use, a tone or voice modulation. Yes, yes, the tone of a voice or words are important apart from knowledge. That's absolutely right. As I told you, sometime when you say good morning, it sounds like go to hell because the way you are saying it. In case if you're not able to see me properly, I'm sorry. There is some light electricity issue here. All right. So kindly bear with me. And when you close the conversation, right? Oh, thank God, the electricity has resumed. When you close the conversation, it should be on a positive and a smiley note. There are two terms you must have heard: compromise and adjust. Have you heard? Kindly write down. Have you heard compromise and adjust? You compromise when you are not happy, when something is forced on you. That time you compromise with the situation. But you adjust when you are happy and you really want to do this job or you want to do this task happily from the core of your heart. So remember, in negotiation, if it is compromise, then you will not be happy. Adjust, yes, a positive note, right? Now, in negotiation, as I told you, speaking, even listening is very important. In conversation, in a communication process, it is not only speaking but listening. Listen to the entire conversation and situation clearly, because when you will listen it clearly, you will have all the points in your mind that what exactly the party is saying, right? And where exactly you have to raise the point of concern, and how you have to convince that party that whatever you are saying that is more easy and comfortable for both of you. Do you agree? Now, in communication, there is something called sense of humor. uh, sense of humor can be shown in different ways: the way you speak, the way you take the matter to the next level, right? And make sure when you laugh or you when you make humor, it should be with everyone, not on anyone. It's well said in English that when you want to laugh with everyone, not on anyone. Same thing here. If you want to create a humor, make sure it should be very general, not targeting any audience. No gender, no religion, no region, even no position. I hope you understand. No position that you don't know about this and why you're talking about this. No, it should be very general. All right. Attitude. In every situation, in every field, attitude is the most important part of your personality. The way you put up your point, the way you present your point of view, that should be very positive and acceptable for everyone, and accepted. It should be accepted by everyone, because you might be having the best idea, right? Your communication will be the finest communicate. You are the one of the finest communicator in the world, but the way you present it, your attitude is not good. People will not take you seriously. Even if they agree with your point of view, they will feel that this point is very good, very valid, beneficial for us. Just because it is presented in a wrong way, they will not accept it. Okay, now here I want to ask you a question, whoever are there. Will you accept somebody's point of view if it is presented in a wrong way? Even if it is beneficial for you, please write down. Will you accept? Thank you. Thank you, Madhvi. Right? So take care of your attitude, respect somebody's point of view. If somebody has put up any kind of point, even if you don't agree with that point, please take care of your attitude and don't ever use a bad word for that person's point of view, because everybody has a different perspective for everything in this world. Here, I would like to add something. If you see sunrise and sunset, if you see the sunrise and sunset, both are same, but everybody has a different feeling for sunrise and sunset. So it's their attitude, their point of view. It's not acceptable if wrongly presented. Agreed with you, right? Your confidence, self confidence, how confidently you are putting up your point of view, right? In case if you're not confident enough, nobody will believe you. Believe me. So when you speak with that confidence that the person to whom you are talking to, the person should believe you that whatever this person is saying, that's 100% right. Okay? Then use a little bit of emotional intelligence. How to connect with the person to whom you are talking to. Small gestures, small words that makes a great impact. You know, a compliment on somebody's achievement, somebody's communication, somebody's point of view. That makes a very great impact in any kind of negotiation as well as communication. No, giving compliment is very easy. It will not cost you anything. Just appreciating somebody's communication style, somebody's attire. In case if somebody during the communication the person tells you is from so and so city or place, just appreciate it. Oh wow, it's a great place to be. I heard about that. Never got a chance to be there, but definitely one day I'll visit there. You know, this this makes a very good rapport between you and your partner in the communication. Be patient. Don't force your point of view on somebody, because the person to whom you're talking to, the person might have a different kind of perception about the same situation. As I told you before, sunrise and sunset, they are always same, but the person have a different perception regarding both the things. Do you agree? All right. As I have told you before, communication styles: aggressive, assertive, and submissive. Now, aggressive, not only in your words but in your body language too. Make sure that when you point out someone during the conversation, during the communication part, don't use your fingers. Don't come up with heavy gestures. No, I want to tell you like this. That leaves a wrong impact on the person. Right? Be assertive. Actually, in aggressive communication, wherever you speak it, in any situation, if I am aggressive and I'm talking to you, it will be a win situation for me and lose situation for you. And in case if I become submissive, then I'll be the loser and you'll be the winner. So the best way to communicate is assertive, where there's a win-win situation for both the parties. You tell something, I will listen to it. When I say something, then you listen to me and then respond. Clear? Kindly write if you agree with my point of view. I'm waiting for the response. Kindly respond. Okay, now the most important thing in any kind of negotiations, that whenever you give one statement, the other party, they will come up with a different statement. That is known as vatna and batna. WATNA, vatna, and BATNA, batna. Right? Now, what is vatna? Vatna means worst alternative to a negotiated agreement, and batna is best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Now, let's say I'm taking the interview. I demanded a salary of, let's say, 5 lakhs per annum, and you offered me 3 lakhs per annum, right? So that is worse for me. I will not agree on this because my demand was 5 lakhs and you offered me 3 lakhs. It's a big difference. Now, what I will do? Now, I will start the negotiation. Then, I will tell you about my achievements in past and my KRS for the future. What I am going to do for your company in future, because what I have already achieved, that is gone, past. Right? Now, I am looking for a best alternative which should be near to my statement. Do you get my point? So remember, your Batna is somebody's Vatna, and somebody's Batna is yours Vatna. Because whatever you are saying from your point of view, that might not be accepted or acceptable for the second party. So whenever you come with your Batna, remember the other person will have their Batna too. I'm very clear that I need 5 lakhs. Even you're very clear for this position, for this kind of experience, you can pay only up to 3 lakhs. Now, in case we don't come on the same platform, this negotiation will end on a negative note. So, if I want to end this negotiation with you on a positive note, I have with come with the with an another partner. So here, if you remember in the initial when I started this session, I have told you you should have the knowledge and position. You should know what exactly and to whom you're talking to. What are your plus points? What is your knowledge? Right? You should know that in case if you are demanding a salary of 5 lakhs rupees, is this company worth paying you 5 lakhs rupees? If not, then actually you have come to a wrong place, because you knew that your demand is your capability, your quality is 5 lakhs per annum or per month, maybe depends upon your skills and qualification and all your hard work in your past. So before approaching the company, you should do your homework, your R&D. That when I will speak about my salary, will this company be able to pay my salary in so and so amount at so and so amount? I'm sorry. So before you start negotiating, you should know that to whom you are talking to whom you are going to negotiate, what is the power, what is the knowledge you have, and the kind of knowledge and power the same the another company or the another representative has. Then only this negotiation will be on a positive note. Otherwise, your demand is 5 lakhs, he is offering you 3 lakhs, you will not accept 3 lakhs, he will not offer you 5 lakhs. So this entire communication and negotiation will go for a toss, and the result will be zero. And yes, if you think that you are looking for a package of 5 lakhs, whatever per month or per annum, that I'll leave up to you, then look for the right company, those who can pay you according to your skills and your experience and your expertise. That time when you demand 5 lakhs, they might come up with 4.5 or 4.7. Even they might give you a better than this, depends upon your skills and knowledge, your power to convince them. Do you agree with me? Kindly write in the chat box. Now we spoke about BATNA and VATNA. At the same time, there is something called ZOPA and WAP, walk away price. Right? Let's talk about walk away price. As I have told you, I'm demanding a salary of 5 lakhs rupees, and you saw my performance, you saw my knowledge, everything, whatever parameters you were looking for. If I fall into that parameter, you will offer me, okay, fine, then we're at this point, we can offer you 4.7 or 4.5. That's a walkaway price for me as well as for you. Do you agree? Right? That is walkaway price, acceptable and accepted by both the parties. Now there is something called ZOPA. All right, what is ZOPA? zone of possible agreement. Now, my demand is 5 lakhs, but your company's policy or limit is 3 lakhs. So, at any point of time, you cannot offer me more than 3 lakhs. And at any point of time, I will not come below 4.5 lakhs. The zone of possible agreement is 0 here. So, remember, whenever you do negotiations, you should know your WAP, walkaway price, and ZOPA too. And not only yours, but the party to whom you're talking to. All right. As I had given you an example that when you go to market and when you bargain with a shop vendor, right? Uh, the shopkeeper says that 100 rupees, and you say no, no, I will give you 60 rupees or 70, whatever. Then both of you agree on a price that is a walkaway price for both of you. He started with 100, you started with 60. Finally, both of you agreed on 70. But remember, if he offered you 100, you offered him 30 rupees, all right, and finally you came to 40 or 50, and that is not his walkaway price, or because it is zone of possible agreement, there is no uh, profit for that person in this deal, so he will simply say you no. So you should know that what could be the walkaway price for both the parties. Let's take an example. Your office timings, right? When you let's say your reporting time is 9 o'clock, and you report by 9:05 or 9:10. That is walkaway price for you as well as your company accepted, right? But this should happen only twice or once in a month or in a week, depends upon the scenario. But every day, if you come at 9:45, that is out of scope. Nobody will accept your any excuse that every day if you come at 9:45 and you will tell them the excuses, uh, well, WAP is better than ZOPA. It depends upon the situation. If you want to close the deal on a positive note, then of course you will go for the WAP, right? But whatever the offer is there, whatever the situation is there, if it is out of scope for both of you and the second party, then this negotiation will be in a negative mode. As I had given you one example, the shopkeeper's purchase price of the hat is 50 rupees. Now, if you offer him 40 rupees, right? Do you think this will be walkaway price for both of you? Sorry, walkaway price for the shopkeeper? No, because if the zone of possible agreement has gone, he cannot give you, because if he'll give you in 40 rupees, he will face a loss of 10 rupees. Do you agree, Madhvi? Madhvi, do you agree? So remember your Zopa, walkaway price, Batna and Vatna. If you have your Batna, the another person even he has his Batna. If you have a walkaway price, the another person also has a walkaway price. If you have your Zopa zone of possible agreement, the another person has also his or her Zopa zone of possible agreement. So you have to come on the same platform where the walkaway price should be okay for both of you. So for that, what you need knowledge, you need command, you should have a good attitude, you should know about the product in and out, you should have a good communication skills, you should have good listening skills, and top of everything, you should have good attitude to speak and to clarify your points during this entire process. Right, because when everything will be at the right place, then only this negotiation will be a win-win situation for both the parties. Otherwise, you will be at your point of view, you're not ready to listen to anyone, and the second party, they will be at their point of view, they will not listen to anyone, and this entire process will go for a toss, and the result will be zero. And believe me, all these things happen within a fraction of a second. uh, when you go to market, do you take a lot of time to bargain and to close the deal? You know their zopa, you know their walkaway price. When you take the interview, actually normally in interview you know that what is the current, um, you can say, current situation, what exactly they can offer, where can you say yes or no. So when you do the negotiation is very close to the final agreement, final conclusion. The, if you want to close the deal in your favor, then make sure that you have something to offer them, all right, which is acceptable and beneficial for both of you. As I had told you before, I'm very good in my domain. I have a lot of experience and expertise in my domain. But if I'm approaching a wrong company, let's say I'm approaching a startup, and their capacity is not to pay me a salary in 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, and if I demand that, fine, see, I have a lot of experience, expertise with me. If you hire me, I can do these things for you. I will take your company on the next level. But their current situation is not that they can offer you that price. So your BATNA is their VATNA, right? Do you agree? Kindly respond. Do you agree? Okay. Now, if you have any questions, kindly ask me. You can write it down in the chat box. Okay. Here I want to give you a tip. Okay, BATNA. You know what is BATNA? BATNA is the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Okay. Now, what is BATNA? Let's say I've given you an example. I demanded a salary of 5 lakhs rupees, and you gave me an option that no, I can't pay you 5 lakhs, I can pay you 3 lakhs. Now this is the best option that you can give to me, right? But for me it is VAT. Now worse, I cannot accept 3 lakhs because I have a different qualification, expertise, expectation, everything. All right. So now this best alternative which you think is suitable for me, but I don't think that this is suitable for me. So for me it is VATNA worst, and for you it is BATNA best. So both of us, we have to come to a point that okay, fine, I'm demanding 5 lakhs, and if you offer me 4.5, I will agree, I will accept it. So that will be the walkaway price. So it is not necessary and compulsory that what is your BATNA is really accepted by the second person, second party. All right. You think 3 lakh is enough? I don't think. I did, Madhvi. Did you get my point? That whatever you are saying, that is best from your point of view, from your end, but is not acceptable for me. For me, it is not BATNA, it is VATNA. It's best alternative to a negotiated agreement, that is BATNA, right? So, what is your BATNA could be VATNA for me, because what you say, I don't agree on that, right? Are you clear? Are you clear now, Madhavi? You're welcome, Madhavi. Welcome. So here, I just want to revise. In a negotiation process, take care of your knowledge, take care of your communication, your attitude, know your position. Are you in a position to close this conversation on a positive note? Sometimes what happens, we do everything, but we do not have the authority to close it. For authority, we have to contact someone else. So maybe you did your best, but the but your superior, supervisor, your manager, your CEO, he doesn't accept your point of view, and he denies the entire conversation. So this entire negotiation goes for a toss. So make sure that before you start and before you end, do you have the authority to close this negotiation, to close this conversation? In case not, then make sure that you talk to the right person before taking a final call, that see, this is going to happen and what could be the best solutions. So whatever the solution you get from your team or your higher hierarchy, you can negotiate under those parameters. Okay. Thanks a lot for your time, all who are present in this session. I hope most of your points would have been cleared. If not, you can drop me a message, write down in the comment box. I will get back to you. That is for sure. Well, see, if you close this entire negotiation on a positive note, it means the another party is happy with you, right? They agree on your statement, they agree on your point of view, and your relationship will go well. In case if it is not, then you can talk to the party that what exactly they are looking for and how can you modify this entire process, entire communication. If they come up with their batna, again you can think, is it best and possible for you? You give them your batna. And end result should be a happy situation for both the parties. You have asked, learning economics, that how do you ensure positive continuity? The continuity will happen after this negotiation is ended in on a positive note. In case if not, they will come up with another batna. You come up with another batna. Try to solve out the conflict. That what exactly is missing in this entire conversation or in entire negotiation. What exactly they are looking for and what exactly you are offering, and where both of you can be, like on the same platform. What you can offer to each other. Okay, I'll tell you, managing something is very different as compared to a negotiator. Normally managers, what they do, they force their point of view to on someone. They order, they command. And what a negotiator do, they not only, they don't order at all. They take you on the same path, on the same platform, with all happiness and joy in the entire process. And it is not necessary that a manager, a negotiator, to be a good manager. I don't think so at all. If you want to be a good negotiator, you should be a good communicator. You should have the ability to understand from every person's point of view that what exactly you and I mean on the same situation. Here there are some limitation. Otherwise, I would have shown you few good videos to actually understand the entire process of our negotiations, communication. Right? Am I clear? Any other questions, please? Okay, thanks a lot for your time and patience. Have a good day ahead. Goodbye. I'll log off from the system. Goodbye.